And I should be coming live and direct. Let me know if you guys can hear me in the chat. Should be coming in clear. Yeah, I messed that up last time. I actually started recording last time and on my last live, and I had the mic off the whole time. So let me know if you guys can hear me. But yeah, it's the Fallon Show. It's Dave. How's it going? Um, Good evening from Wally. Much love over there in Wellington. Um, Hey, got a new member here, Steve. Much love, man. I just put that up too. Yeah, so if you want to become a member of the Fallon Show, um, go and do that. Really, it's more just showing support, if anything else. I mean, mainly these lives I do and things like that. So yeah, if you want to support the research, but yeah, Nelson, I'm gonna do an episode on Nelson soon. Very interesting. Nelson on the top of the South Island. Um, Believe it or not, that there was if you look at the mainstream narrative, when the colonizers got to Nelson, there was already a town there. There was already roads there. Who built those roads? Who built those towns? Very interesting history of Nelson. Jack, how's it going, Bubba? Sweet, so the comms are coming in good. Then, yeah, cheers, brother. Cheers, means the world, man. Honestly, means the world. Yeah, so today, well, first of all, how's the new mask stuff here in New Zealand? So they're implementing now that you're not allowed to wear a bandana, not allowed to wear shirts or anything like that. It has to be that doctor's mask or whatever, and people that are required to do it at work have to wear a surgical grade mask. See, I'm even scared to say mask on here because of the tyranny. But how's that, eh? Like, they're showing their cards now. You know what I mean? Like, look at the new legislations here in New Zealand. If you're not, if you don't have this, well, we'll call that the V. If you don't have the V, well, it's not even. It's the other one, the B now. So the boost. If you haven't got that now, basically they're saying now that the first two mean absolutely nothing now. You know, I mean that's what it says on the legislation. You know, if you've got those first two V's, it doesn't mean anything. You have to have the B now, the boost. You've got to have that one now. So they're showing their cards now. You know what I mean? They're showing that this is just a joke. And more and more people are waking up, but it's just they got to just do it a little quicker. But anywho, that stuff aside, so today we're going to be looking at Invercargill. So, population, man, most up until the 1900s, man, it was, you know, less than 10,000 people, less than 10,000 people. They built up a whole bloody city pretty much, in Invercargill, so they tell us. We're going to look at Anzac, you know what I mean? World War II, the Anzacs landing in Gallipoli. Apparently, 2,000 people died in that day that they landed in Gallipoli. No dead bodies. All the pictures I've looked over, can't see any dead bodies. Soldiers looking pretty relaxed on the beach there. Because World War II wasn't even what they say it was. Don't get me wrong, people died. A lot of people died, but how? Who knows what happened to them? You know what I mean? Who knows what happened to them? Um, yep. How's it going, Neil? Um, it's just messed up. And then to finish off, we're going to look at a bit of David Bains. So those that don't know David Bain, he allegedly killed his whole family in Dunedin. Got let off though. Done over 10 years in the clink. Done over 10 years in the clink. Got out because he beat it. Very low IQ sort of a guy. But there was just a whole bunch of police corruption involved. It's some ugly stuff. You know what I mean? There was an investigative journal report on it about police being involved in Dunedin, being involved in bestiality, rape, pedophilia, police. You know what I mean? And then teachers were involved. People who went on to be deputy prime ministers were involved. Big cover up, big cover up. It all got covered up in the end. But I mean, things haven't changed though. You know what I mean? This was back in the 80s, but it's still the same now. You know what I mean? They get into all sorts of weird, occult, ritualistic, just deviant. It's pretty ugly, fam. It's pretty ugly to read, to be honest. I had a hard time reading that. Um, but yeah, that's right, Baba. Karma never sleeps. That's exactly right. Um, but then that's why they do all this stuff, these satanic people. They're putting it out there. You know what I mean? They're putting out how stupid this all is so that people will go along with it anyway, because that's a part of their cult stuff too. They show people how corrupt it is. They show people how messed up it is, and people just go along with it anyway. Because if they stepped out of line from that, then the creator, he'll have to step in, if they didn't follow those rules. So it's just it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, much love, Baba Johnny Blaze. Yeah, Baba. I mean, we don't have long left, fam. We can see that. We don't have long left. It's getting crazy. I mean, who knows what's going to happen when they flick that 5G stuff on? They say it's already on, but I doubt it. I doubt it. But who knows what happens when that switches on? you know. But I mean, in New Zealand, they've mandated 5 to 11 now. So 5 years and up, you can get the JHAB. So it looks like they want to keep the under 5 years old. They want to keep them alive. Why? Because of the reset. Because after everyone's dead, they'll teach these kids a false history. They'll Just like they've done before, just like they've done with our ancestors. Everybody watching this, all of our ancestors were basically taught a false or were taught a false history about where they came from, about who they are. You guys seen what happened in Britain during World War II. They took everyone's kids off them because they said in Britain that they were about to be bombed. So they took everyone's kids. And that was willingly or unwillingly. This is on Wikipedia, you know what I mean? Like, whether you liked it or not, they took your kids off you. It's going to happen now. You know what I mean? They'll start taking people's kids, flick on 5G, everyone's dead. Bam, they come back up and, teach them a false history. Tell some of them your parents died in wars. There was a war that happened, World War whatever, and your parents died. Some will be told that they were abandoned. And most of those kids will probably go on to be slaves to clean up the mess, and then probably killed off then. These people got no remorse for human life. But anywho, all right, so I'll go into Invercargill, all right? So I got some good pictures of Invercargill. All right, you guys should be seeing my screen right now. So this is a census of Invercargill in 1871. Hold up. Yeah, 1871 Invercargill. So this is all the stuff I get on here is the official census, you know what I mean? Like this is official documents, general totals of the population. As you can see here, Invercargill, less than 2,000 people. Less than 2,000 people in 1871. And then from here, so this is a census. Sorry, fam. What the heck? Sorry, I already had this organized. Oh, there we go. Invercargill. So 5,000 people. 5,000 people in, I think this is 1881. It's 1881. 5,000. So you can see here Invercargill 5,000. Well, yeah, 1881. So 5,000. So it's only increased about 3,000 in 10 years. So in 1870, it was 2,000 less than. In 1881, it was less than 5,000. And then as we go on from here, this is Invercargill, the blue line, as you can see. Invercargill in the blue. 1891, less than 9,000 people. So up till the turn of the century, they've only had about 10,000 people in Invercargill up to 1900s. All right, so we'll go on now. Talk amongst yourselves in the chat while I do this. Okay, Invercargill live stream. Oh, the quality's not the best on this photo. Wow. But anyway, you guys can see, this is very, this is built by scattered settlers. Obviously, it's not a good photo, but you can see the detail and that's gone into the architecture. This is 1864 Tay Street. 1864. In the population of a couple hundred people. Streets completely empty. All right. Grand architecture. All right. Now, the thing is, so they went about facading over a lot of these buildings to make them look crappier than what they actually were. But don't get it twisted. These were palaces. Okay. All stone, all brick. The cleanup crew afterwards came about to these cities and went about, covering them, facading over them, putting a fake exterior over them to make them look not as well done. But this is 1864. Look how wide the street is. Why in a population of a couple hundred people, why are the streets so wide? Why is the sky been widened out? This is 1870s. 1870s in a population of less than 2,000. There's an aerial there. Okay. Look at these kids just sitting there. Look how wide these roads are for horse and cart. Why are the roads so huge? Why? Look, people standing around, and then boom, what's this? 1864, there's a lamp on the street. So before they've even, look how crappy the road is. 1870s, and there's a lamp here. That's an electric lamp, fam. That ain't no, look how ornate it is. That isn't no, they're gonna put a ladder up and then there's a candle in there. That's an electric lamp. What's an electric lamp doing in Invercargill in the 1870s with a population of less than 2,000 people? Why is the door so high there? Look how huge that door is. Again, you see they've facaded it over to make it look like it's been made of wood, but there'd be brick underneath, as we all know. But look how high the mud goes up there. All mud. Kids playing in the middle of the street. This was built in 1879. Population of less than 5,000, about 4,000 people. And that's the bank that they built on the corner. Here it is again, 1879. Look how massive the door is. Why is the door that high? It's huge. See, because what they did was they lowered the doors. When they've come in to cover up most of the stuff, they lowered the doors. They built these bits on it to make the doors seem lower, but the door goes all the way up here. Why would the door go all the way up here unless they were giants? You've got mud flooded windows on the side here. Why are there windows that's been buried halfway? And no, it's not to let light in the basement. Are you serious? Look at here. There's the bank beside it, 1879. Look, it's been buried. And then they built the road on top of it. 1879, less than 5,000 people. They decided to build these two banks that look like that. Does that make any sense? Does that make any sense, fam? Yeah, sorry, I just went back just to make sure I'm sharing screen. And I am, so that's good. And I'll go back. Sorry, fam. Okay. So yeah, 1879, that's the bank. Got a few scattered, and then there's the lamps again. Look. Why are there lamps in 1879 in Invercargill? Why? They're electric. Why are there electric lamps in 1879? Because they already had all that stuff. They already had all of that stuff. This is a photo taken on Esk Street in Invercargill circa 1880. Circa 1880. Population of less than 5,000. Why? There's buildings as far as the eye can see. Look how wide the street is for a couple horses. 5,000 people. Why are the streets so wide? Why are these 3-4 stories high for a population of 5,000 people? You imagine a population of a couple thousand rocking up to basically mud and dirt and then just chucking up stuff like this. Look how huge this building is. It's gigantic. 5,000 people, most of whom would have been women and children. 1880s. I mean, how rich would it had to been back then to own a horse back in those days? Barely anyone would have had horses, most likely. And look how wide the roads are. These horse and carts don't even make up a quarter of the street. Why would they have built them so wide? 1880s. Look at the statue on the top. You're telling me what? Most of the men were master stonemasons, master builders, architects, and all of that. Look at this place. Again, you see the doors here. See how they've lowered it? So they've put that there. They've put it in to lower the door. But the door would have been up that high. Why? Was the previous civilization's giants. Look at this place. Look at it. 3-4 stories high. Look at the people down there. 1880s. Again, look how wide these streets are. Why so wide? Population of less than 5,000. Up until the turn of the century, population was less than 10,000. Up till the 1900s, the population of this place was less than 10,000. Look at all of these buildings. Look how huge they are. Why are these buildings so massive? Why are there flags? Why would they stick flags on every single building? Unless that's not what they were. You know what I mean? You got the iron around here, you got the aerial. It's because it was free energy. What are these doing here? What are these? You know what I mean? What are these in the 1880s? What are they? Electric lamp. Boom, 1880s. How? If you want to follow the mainstream narrative, what are these? What are these doing here in a population of less than 5,000 people? Why are there electric lamps there? You know what I mean? You got electric lamps all the way back in 1870s in Invercargill. Why? How? 1880s again. This is in 1880s. Not even the turn of the century yet. Not even the turn of the century. Up till 1900s, population of less than 10,000 people. Who built all this stuff? Look, it's just grand architecture as far as you can see. How could a few scattered European settlers build all this? Where would the money have come from? What, the Dunedin Gold Rush? You know what I mean? That funded every other city's build up across New Zealand. 1880s D Street. Again, look at these portholes. What are these portholes for? What are they for? Established 1862. 1862 established. 1860s Invercargill, there was a couple hundred people here. Couple hundred. How are they building all this? Why are there urns on the top? Why is there all of that on the top there? Well, what's this? Again, what's this? Was that left over from the reset because they set up 5G last time? Is that what happened last time? They turned on the 5G and everybody died. You know what I mean? And then they came back and took the towers down or whatever. 1880 St. Mary's Basilica on Tyne Street. Look at this place. Population of less than 10,000 people built out all of this. How? With what materials? Where'd they get the materials from? This the Supreme Court in 1880s. One guy standing out the front. Look out! His head barely hits the pillar here. Why would they build that for a Supreme Court? Put that in your head, fam. Put that in your head. There's a Supreme Court in the population of a town of a couple thousand people, 4,000 people, less than 5,000 people. You got a couple vagrants in the mix there, if that. And they go into court, and you're going to build them up something like this for court. Does that make any sense? Which of the population would work their ass off to build something like this for a couple of people to sit in court? 1880s Tay Street, there's that bank again. There's the lamps. They've already got electricity. Just look at this place. Again, mud flooded windows. Mud flood. You can see it at the bottom. They've been buried. All brick, all stone, nothing made of wood. Where'd the brick come from? 1880s. Look at this. Look at this place. Oh, look, now they don't got flags on them. Where's the flags gone? Because they were antenna. They were using energy. Look at this place. Look at this. Two kids here. Hand in his pocket. Freemason, of course. Just look at that. 1880s population, 5,000 people. Remember, fam, 5,000 people. That's not much. That's not much people. Imagine a protest of people building up something like this. Could you believe that? 1884, Esk Street. Roads as wide as can be for horse and cart. Aerials as far as the eye can see. Why are there aerials on every single building? Unless they're conducting free electricity. Where's the brick coming from? Where's the brick coming from? Again, what are these? What are these? What are these power pole things? In 1884. Because the thing is, these towns were already here. So the thing is, they were already conducting free electricity as well. So when the controllers came into these places, they would have started knocking down they would have started switching off all these buildings and replacing them with wires. You know what I mean? But again, that's a bank here. Look how high the door goes. Look at the head on the top there where the key is. Who carved that? I mean, 1885. Look how wide the roads are. Why are the roads that wide in 1880s? Does that make any sense that they'll start building one side of the street and one side of the street all the way over there in a population of 5,000 people? Why would they do that? Why would they do that? Look, you've got one lane of traffic here, one lane of traffic here. Looks like. For a little buggy like that. Little buggies. Look at this place. Again, aerials. Aerials. You know, they weren't full flags. Look at this, 1890s, Colonial Bank of New Zealand. Look at that. Look how crappy it looks all around it though. You know, 8090s Colonial Bank, 8090s. Let me show you guys again. 8090s, less than 10,000 people. 1896, 10,000. 1900s, 10,000. Oh, man. Yeah. Colonial Bank of NZ. 1890s. Less than 10,000 people. Less than 10,000 people in this space. And they've built that. Look at that, fam. Now take a good, proper look at what you're looking at here. 1892. 1892. Let me show you this again. 1892. 1896, 10,000 people. 10,000 people. Oh, man. 10,000 people. 1892. Under 10,000 people. I said 1896, 10,000 people. So 1892, less than 10,000 people. Look at this. 1892. 10,000 people built all of this. So they say. Look how long the street goes on for. It goes on forever. Population of 10,000 people built all of this. Does that make sense, fam? Does that compute? Can you see now? Can you see the lie? 10,000 people. Buildings as far as the eye can see. And you can see all of these ones. You can see all of these ones. These ain't no wooden structures. These ain't no crappy little wooden buildings. This is grand architecture here. The grandest of the grand. 1892. Look at these places. Look how huge they are. 10,000 people. Where'd the materials come from? Where'd the expertise go? Where'd the material come from? Where'd the material come from? Look how big this one is here. Buildings all 3-4 stories high, 10,000 people. I'm telling you now, if 10,000 people walked into a place like this, not even a quarter of it would be full. Look, just buildings as far as the eye can see, population of 10,000 people. 1895 Albion Hotel. Look at it. Look how ornate and intricate it is and complex it is. Got the urns at the top. The sky's been widened out because they don't want us seeing what was in the sky. Look at it. Population of 10,000 people. Again, 1896 Supreme Court. 1896 view from the water tower. 10,000 people. Look at this place. Don't get me wrong, the buildings are beautiful, but everything else looks crap. There's overgrown trees everywhere. Why are there overgrown trees everywhere? Wouldn't they have knocked those down when they were building this grand architecture? This is 1898. Again, 10,000 people. 10,000 people according to official documents. Completely built out. It baffles me that people can see these videos that I'm doing and still say, oh yeah, no, the colonizers built all of that. How? 1900s Bank of Australia. So we're entering the turn of the century now. 1900s. Yeah, still got the lamps there. Still got the lamps from 50 years ago. You know what I mean? Still got the electric power lamps and that's been there for about 50 years now. Always got these urns on the top. Buildings look completely filthy. Look at them. The buildings don't look clean. They look old. Buildings that have just been built look old. 1904 Invercargill. How? How could we have built any of this grand architecture? Couple people standing around, everyone's staring at the camera. Everybody's staring at the camera. Why is everyone staring at the camera? Because they've been told to stand there. That's why. Stand around while we can take a picture and make it look like you guys are looking normal, just walking around. These people here are probably the only people in the whole town. You know what I mean? Like 1904. 1904 Invercargill. This the boys' high school. 1905. Who would have built something like this for a couple of school kids? How many school kids would have been? Population of 10,000. This is only one of the schools. Why is there portholes here? Why is there a copper dome on here? Why is there an antenna on the top? What's this antenna doing in the background here? 1906 post office. Does that make sense that they'll build a post office like that to look at mail? Huge place like this. Massive. 1906. 1910. A view of the crescent in 1910. And the popular neoclassical style of architecture favored for commercial premises in the late 19th and earliest 20th century. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they favored building buildings like this back then. One dude standing there, one kid, looks like. Look at this place. 1910. What's our population in 1910, fam? What's our population in 1910? About 12,000? 12,000 people? 12,000 people in 1910? $12,000 people. Oh, oops. So, fam. 12,000 people in 1910. All of that. All of this. Mud flood windows. Got windows buried. Windows. This is to Briscoe's in 1890s. So this is in 1890s back to what, 5,000 people. So we're back in 1890s. I'm assuming that says established 1863. I'm not sure though. 1863 in Invercargill, there was only a couple hundred people there. This is 1890s. I'm assuming late 1890s. So it's still less than 10,000 people. Look at this place. What are those things? What are those things? Fire hydrants? I don't know. Back then. This is that picture in D Street again. Got the aerials here. Aerials. Doesn't say what date it is, but I'm assuming, 1890s, 1880s with the horse trams. Edinburgh House, 1870s. Look at that. 1870s. 2,000 people. Less than 2,000 people lived in this place and they built up something like that. Got an aerial here. Statue there. What's this? What's this in the 1870s? What is that in the 1870s? Lamp. Electric lamp, 1870s. General Post began building. So they say that this place began building in 1875. It was completed in 1890s. Still population of less than 10,000. This is another picture here. Aerials. This is Tay Street. Turn of the century, most likely about 1900s. You got a little car thing here. We got a little car thing here, so that's 19. I don't know, 1910 maybe. Still population of about 12,000. Look at this place. A few scattered people walking around here and there. Look at it. Just all grand architecture. All of it. No little shanty wooden shacks, mate. None of that. Yeah, you see, this is 1859. Fair enough, they built something like this in 1859. Yeah, fair enough. 1850. Yeah, that's believable. That's believable. But this is 1864 on the same street. So this is 5 years later. 5 years later, they've gone from wooden shacks to grand architecture. But yeah, fair enough. In 1859, yeah, I'd believe that they built this crap. I'd believe that for sure. But I wouldn't believe that they built, any of this stuff. Any of this stuff. No chance. No chance they built any of this. No chance they went from, wooden shacks to building stuff like that in a couple years. You know what I mean? That would have been like when they rocked up here. And then, 1870s, then they started building stuff like that. That doesn't make no sense whatsoever. 2,000 people in 1870s. They started building stuff like that. That don't make 2 bits of sense. That makes no sense whatsoever. That they started building stuff like that. But yeah, fair enough. Well, this is Tay Street again. Just look how wide these roads are. Look how wide the roads are. But the image has obviously been manipulated as well, though. That's the thing. Because the thing is, when they would have got here, these towns would have already been completely built. That's why they say they found it. They founded Invercargill because they just found it. And then this is all just manipulated. A lot of this is just manipulated. But as you can see here, that's not a... Look how high this ladder goes. Look how massive this ladder is. Does that make sense? But they're obviously not building it. They're just cleaning it up. They're just facading over it. 1880s. Less than 5,000 people. And this is the water tower they built in 1889. 1889, 5,000 people. Built a water tower that looks like that. That doesn't even look like a water tower. That's most likely where they refueled the airships. What's this? Is that an airship? Is that an airship? Look at the grass. Look at the crappy grass, and then grand architecture. Crazy, isn't it? Invercargill. Couple hundred scattered settlers in the 1800s. Scattered European settlers built all that grand architecture. Up until the 1900s, they didn't even go over 10,000 people. That's not many people, 10,000 people. You know what I mean? But then they look at Rome, they look in Europe, and they're like, oh yeah, but they built all those buildings there too. They didn't build those either. But then even if you want to go by that narrative, look what was the population of Rome and Greece and all that. Look at what the said population was of those places compared to here in New Zealand. You know what I mean? In New Zealand, they're saying that it took a couple thousand people to build the same ones that they were building. That took them, some of them are hundreds of thousands of people to build. And here in New Zealand, it took them like 2,000 people. 1,000 people, couple hundred people to build all of that. You know what I mean? Doesn't make sense. They rely on ignorance. Exactly. Don't get me wrong, because the thing is, you don't question it. You know what I mean? You just, in the world that we're living in, we just don't question it. I didn't. When I was young, when I got told that we built those, it's just like, well, yeah, well, we must have. You know what I mean? So it's crazy. Yeah. Hugely intricate design, grand architecture building with sticks and stones. Doesn't make any sense. Yeah. So yeah, it's crazy stuff. But look, I'll move forward. I'll keep trucking. I'll keep trucking. So, all right, this is the Anzacs in Gallipoli. So I'll quickly run over this. So on 25th of April 1915, so by 1915, we were in war as well, World War One, but still all this grand architecture was popping up all over New Zealand. But anywho, on 25th April 1915, Australia's soldiers landed in what is now called Anzac Cove on the Gallipoli Peninsula. For the vast majority of the 16,000 Australians and New Zealanders who landed on that first day, this was their first experience of combat. By that evening, 2,000 of them had been killed and wounded. 10,000 of them. Now, I've looked over these photos, a lot of them, and to be honest, I'm struggling to find any evidence of them even fighting. Well, I mean, first of all, it doesn't even make sense that a cameraman is going into war with these people. But anywho, just look how clean everyone looks. Look how clean everyone looks. And there's just been 2,000 people just been killed. We'll go over some of these photos. This is Anzac Cove so when they landed here, 2,000 people died. In a couple of months, they've already built up all of these here. Well, look at it this way as well. All right, so 2,000 people died off the bat. So this is pretty much what New Zealand would have looked like when the colonizers arrived. And they reckon that they were just popping up grand architecture everywhere. Just a few scattered settlers that weren't even soldiers. And they were apparently building up grand architecture as far as the eye can see. You know what I mean? That's what they say when these colonizers came to New Zealand. But anyway, so about 2,000 people have died here, they tell us. This is the landing of the Australian troops at the Anzac Cove. Just where's the 2,000 dead people? Where's the I can't see it. I can't see the death in any of these photos. I can't see the 2,000 people that have just been killed upon landing. 2,000 people, that's a lot of people that have been killed. 2,000 people. By that evening, 2,000 of them had been killed. Where's the graves? Where's the anything going on? I just can't see anything going on in any of these photos. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying people didn't die in the war, but I'm saying what happened, because the narrative they give us doesn't make any sense. When you go through most of the war pictures, that just doesn't make sense. The pictures just don't match up. It's staged. It's all staged. All of it. Anzacs at Gallipoli. 15 photos of the Anzacs at Gallipoli. Wounded comrade, an Australian carrying his wounded mate to a medical post for treatment, Gallipoli in 1950. Where's all the people? He's smiling here. Why is he smiling? Is he smiling or what? Or am I tripping? Am I tripping, or has he got a grin on his face? Why is he got a grin on his face if 2,000 people have just been killed? Game of cricket. They're having a game of cricket. Allied troops. Casual game of cricket. Anzac Cove. Australians landing at Anzac Cove. We just looked at this one. Where's the dead bodies? Where's the 2,000 dead? Where's anything? Where's what they first aid? Why's this guy got his jacket in his arm casually just walking? Like, look how just casual they are. Look how casual they look. Quinn's Post. Support troops from the 4th Australian Infantry Brigade way behind Quinn's boat, Gallipoli, after it was retaken. No one even looks dirty. No one looks... This is apparently a Māori soldier in the Apex trenches on the 30th of November. Big smile on his face. He doesn't even look Māori. Dispatch rider. Back from leave. Evening football. Taking a break. Water for a wounded soldier. He doesn't even look wounded. Does he look wounded? Or does he look like he's just kicking back? Bomb throwing. Australian troops practicing bomb throwing. So they've got time to practice throwing grenades. Head wound. No blood. They're patching up a head wound, but I don't see any blood. Everyone looks fairly clean. Dugouts. It's never mind the grand architecture that they've built here in New Zealand. It's amazing that they've even been able to do this with 16,000 of them, you know what I mean? That's incredible that they were even able to do stuff like this. Never mind throwing up all this Greco-Romano architecture, road-making party. Well, they had the brains to build roads then, you know what I mean? Like, apparently all of the colonizers and that came to New Zealand didn't even think of building roads until 1900s, you know what I mean? 9 reasons why Gallipoli was one of the worst fronts. So this landing in Gallipoli, 2,000 people died. That's huge. But look, it's just... I don't see... There were flies feeding on them.
And what's more, of course, the weather conditions were bad.
Also, my speaker's playing up a little bit, but look, there were flies feeding on them. Feeding on who? Feeding on who? I've seen no signs of anything, really. Look how well dressed they are. Look how immaculate. Look how clean their uniforms are. Extreme weather. Gallipoli had extremes of weather. I just don't see... You see the text, but the photos just look... It was blistering hot. Old mate's got his coat on. Everyone's wearing their coats. Blistering hot. Alright, fair enough, the temperature would plummet, but it's just... Lice infestation. Like, I've looked over heaps of the war photos and you don't see much of anything. Alright, finally there's a dead body. Out of the 2,000 people that died. Poring over all these photos, and it's just... It looks staged. I'll be real. I'll be real. It looks staged. Where are they getting all their materials from? Where are they getting all their materials from for the tents and whatnot? Inhospitable terrain. Where did the horses come from? You know what I mean? Where did the horses come from? It's just, history is just completely fabricated. It's been completely 2,000 people died, can't see evidence of any death in any of it. In all of these pictures, can't see any evidence of anything really. Just people. It's so confusing, isn't it? So confusing. Anzac, 2,000 people dead at Gallipoli, Anzac Cove. Where's the death? Where's anything except people standing around? Oh, I just... Yeah, sorry if there's some spam sites and all of that. You gotta getting a lot of spam on here for some reason. 1 sec, I'll just fix that up. But yeah, you know what I mean? Anzac, where's the 2,000 people dead? Can't see any of it. You can look through all of the oh, sorry fam, hold up. 1 second. Yeah, the photos are staged to fit the narrative. One sec, fam. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so it's just to fit the narrative, you know, you can see that. Anzacs landed in Gallipoli, 2,000 people died off the bat. No sign whatsoever of any sort of death. Looks staged as looking at Invercargill, population of less than 10,000 up to the turn of the century. Grand architecture as far as the eye can see. The supposed Gallipoli soldiers, 2,000 soldiers that died in one day, that same amount of people was apparently the ones that went to Invercargill and were chucking up all of these Greco-Romano structures all over the place, banks, you name it. They were just chucking up all of that. Because you've seen it. You can see what it looked like when they landed on that Anzac Cove. That's what New Zealand would have looked like, and what they just chucked up all of this grand architecture all over the place. I don't know. Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing is, if there was some sort of a war, well, there most likely was a war, but definitely not how they're portraying it as it happened. But the people that would have died would have just been basically slaves. They didn't die for freedom. They didn't die for anything. They died to implement the system, you know what I mean, that we're in now. So how messed up is that? You know, well, yeah, exactly. Some of the sand dunes can conceal a pyramid. Yeah, they're huge. That's the same here in New Zealand. When you go up north and all of that, and there are all those hills, and they say that they're Maori pas. They're actually buried structures. You know what I mean? North Head is the perfect example of that. When you go to North Head, when you go to Mount Victoria, you've got these military installations there, which they say used to be Maori pas, but they were neither. They were neither military installations nor multi-pars either, because you look at the narrative there. They say that back in the 1860s, there was a Russian scare here in New Zealand, and they built over 140 military installations across New Zealand. Well, they dug them all out, filled them with brick and concrete and all of that. How? How would they have done any of that? So they weren't multi-pars, and they weren't military installations either. They're just buried buildings, buried structures, buried star forts. It's just all been buried, you know. That's why it's so hilly here in New Zealand. It's hilly as here, you know what I mean? Because they're all just hiding structures, and then they don't want us digging them up though, because they say that the sites are sacred and this and that. It's not that. It's because they don't want us finding these structures under there, you know. Yeah, the wars, the pandemics, the disasters are just explanations for the dead people. Same with the whole nuclear psyop. They don't have nuclear weapons. That doesn't exist. But it's just a way for them to explain away deformities that happened. You know, look at Vietnam. You know what happened there. Eventually, you know, there were a whole bunch of people, you know, that had suffered deformities and all of that, and they say it was because of the nuclear weapons. Well, it wasn't that. It was because of these. Because that's how they got into the country at the first place, because they were on a humanitarian mission to save the people by giving them the thing. You know what I mean? Like, it was twisted stuff. But yeah, nuclear weapons aren't a thing. Seen a few videos on that now. They're all just manipulated photography and whatnot. Don't get me wrong, they do have access to weapons of mass destruction, but they got way better stuff than a nuclear bomb. You know what I mean? They got way more hectic stuff than that. Yeah. Green orb sighting. Yeah, there's been a lot of stuff, man. A lot of people finding some weird stuff. Okay. So massive two-way side steps, they're built from the same thing, Kaimanawa Wars. It looks like a cave entrance. Yeah, because then you've got vitrification. You know what I mean? So then there was, because you got to look at it that there's been multiple resets. There hasn't just been one. There's been heaps over the time. You know, because you've got melted buildings. You know, you've got these mountains that they've built trees on top of and made it look all bushy and that. But if those trees weren't there, they look like melted buildings. You know, it looks like there's been some sort of a meltdown, and then that just goes back to the circuit board city setup and how they had free energy, and someone's disrupted it, something's gone wrong, and a whole bunch of buildings ended up getting melted. It's just, it's crazy, isn't it? Yeah, photos are done later, staged to fit the narrative. Yeah, so the photos are done later. Even the ones with the towns and stuff where it looks empty and all of that, like they've all been heavily manipulated. All of the photos you see of them building these structures, these Greco-Romano structures back in the day, all fake. They're all fake. Yeah, all the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. Yeah, you got to realize as well that in these satanic groups, in these secret societies, they're taught all that stuff from a young age. They're very good actors. These people, I'm telling you, most of these people that get into the sick sort of stuff, you know, with the pedophilia and the satanic sacrifices and all of that. If you met them in person, they'll be the nicest people you've ever met. You would never even question if you met them if they were bad people or not. You would just think that they were the nicest people ever. You'd be like, oh, look at these nice people, but these people are sick. You know what I mean? Yeah, but more cover-ups, more lied. Yeah, the only reference we have to wars is Hollywood. Movies are basically where people get their history from. You know what I mean? It's from movies like Braveheart. You know what I mean? And like cowboy movies. In samurai movies, that's where we get our history from, because all of that's crap. There was no Wild West with cowboys running around with horses and Indians, because there's all this grand architecture everywhere. It all comes. The buildings just throw everything off. You know what I mean? They throw their complete narrative off because we couldn't have built any of it. Exactly. And the Anzacs, how are they feeding the men? How are they feeding the horses? Yeah, the food tents of the movie site. Yeah, exactly. How are they feeding all those soldiers? Where's the tents coming from? Where's the horses even? What they brought the horses on the boats with them. Like, it's just a massive stage, isn't it? Buzzing. Wellington Cable Car up the hilltop, Old Tartaria loading docks. Yeah, Baba. Yeah, exactly. Hey, much love down there in Canterbury, Annie. Hope all is well down there. What's up, brother? How's it going? Yeah, no, cool. 40 of you watching. Nice. That's cool. Yeah, exactly. There's a reason they call it the theater of war. It's just a big nothing, you know. Yeah, that's what it comes down to. We live in a wasteland. We've just inherited it. Massive prison world. Evandale Primary, Intermediate, College, all tunnels. Yeah, bro. Tunnels all through there. You've got in Avondale, you've got the Unitech there building there, which was the old the old insane asylum that they supposedly built back in the 1870s. Place is huge. I actually got in there, but then that's the thing as well, because most of these buildings have been blocked off because there are lower levels, but those were already blocked off years ago. Because you've got to look at it as well as that they're not actually tunnels. You know what I mean? They're actually buildings. That because the buildings go down so low that we think that they're tunnels, but they're actually just these buildings. You know what I mean? And because you look at that one in Avondale, that Unitech building there, which was the old insane asylum, that would go down way lower. Because when you look out, the motorway's way lower, stories and stories down. So that building is just the roof of the building. So it would go another 20, 30, 40, 50 stories down. Who knows? We don't know. We don't know. We will know. We will know once we take it back. But yeah, the nukes are fake. Yeah, go over any nuclear explosion like photography they got. It's fake as. It's not real. But that it lowers our vibration as well. All that stuff. You know what I mean? It lowers our vibration, thinking, oh yeah, North Korea's got this bomb that they might not let off. They might let off for. I mean, but again, they do have weapons of mass destruction. Don't get it twisted. You know what I mean? But they got better stuff. You know, they got that shit that shoots out lasers and all of that. That's how they start the bushfires, and they got stuff that can create earthquakes. Imagine that. They got technology that can start earthquakes, tsunamis. They've got all the tech. It's all there. Yeah, no, just like I said, yeah, the fear of war is the big weapon. Keep everyone scared. Like, you've got all these people here in New Zealand who are sort of like going bush and like going out into the bush, and it's just like, bro, why would you go out into the bush for? You're scared of them. You know what I mean? You're scared of them. Fuck, I'm not scared of them. Fuck, the only way that we're gonna stop this is. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hopefully you guys can hear me. Just looks like my hello. Let me know if you can hear me. My mic just cut off for a sec there. All that. Yeah, nah, sorry, it's just the stream says that my mic's switching on and off. I've still got some good segments to go on. I still haven't touched on David Bain yet, so that's a goodie. That's a goodie. So I'll save the best for last. Hello, hello, yeah. I'll just put that there. So we'll go on to David Bain. We'll go over to David Bain. Well, I'll answer a few more questions. No, they don't have nukes in North Korea. Like all of the fighting between the nations, you know, Ukraine versus Russia and all of this, there's nothing there. You know what I mean? Well, don't get me wrong, there may be troops in that fighting. There may be troops in that fighting. But the leaders, though, all in the same secret societies together. They just laugh. They just think it's funny. Perfect example of that is the gang scene, because I know a little bit about it. But you look at the gang scenes like all across the world. You know what I mean? Like you might see gang members and that fighting each other, but a lot of the time, the people at the top, the presidents and all of that, or the clubs and all of that, they're all mates. You know what I mean? Like that's why it's so silly, that world, you know, because all of the lower down members are all fighting each other, and the people are at the top are all mates. And it's the same as in the well, maybe not mates all the time, but they do business together. They do this, they do that. And it's the same with the countries. You know what I mean? These troops and that might all fight each other and all of that, but the people at the top, they're all sitting down having dinner together. You know what I mean? They're all in the same secret societies, all of that. But yeah, there's no way around it. You know, you got people here in New Zealand talking about their sovereign, and you know what I mean? They're gonna like there are people getting these cards in there and saying like, oh, we operate outside of your jurisdiction. Like, bro, what are you gonna do? You're gonna show the police that? Because the legislation is being passed here in New Zealand that if you don't have that, you can be locked up now. Like, let that sink in. They can lock you up. And I ain't getting locked up, bro. Like, I'd rather die, mate. You know what I mean? Than go in there. Well, yeah, back in there. So I'd rather die than go back in there. But that's the thing, you know. These are the legislations that are being passed at the moment. But yeah, there's people with these cards, and yeah, it is the whole he whakaputanga, and it is all of that. You know what I mean? But it's just there is no way out of this, you know what I mean? There is no little loopholes, you know, people looking for loopholes in the law, like, oh, you know, we can do this and we can do that. And, you know, they leave those loopholes for a reason. You know what I mean? People think the government is stupid. You know what I mean? Like, don't get it twisted with the puppets that speak. You know what I mean? They're good at playing dumb, but they're not dumb. You know what I mean? Any sort of leaks that happen, anything like that, it's because they want it leaked. You know what I mean? There's no getting one up over them unless you're taking them head on. There is no like little sneaky, oh, we can get this loophole, and oh look, there's this loophole there around this stuff, and it's there. It's left there on purpose. Mostly because for controlled opposition. Because for my New Zealand viewers, I'll tell you this now. Almost every movement here in New Zealand, freedom movement, is controlled by them. Almost all of them. You've got Voices for Freedom, who was trying to battle them in court. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. The people on the ground, though, are good people. The leaders, though, are all corrupt. They're all part of it. All part of it. You had Sue Gray in Voices for Freedom here in New Zealand. She found some loophole and was trying to take them to court, and thought that she could win this battle in court. Bruv, you're a lawyer. You know how you've been in politics. You know it's a cesspool. Any lawyer that knows the system and thinks that we can beat them by using their system is controlled opposition, because it's a cesspit. There is no fixing their system. You know what I mean? There is no, oh, we'll get one of our people in parliament, one of our people will become prime minister, and they'll fix it. Like, there's none of that. The whole system is broken. Ask anyone involved in it that isn't controlled opposition, they'll tell you the whole system is twisted. It can't be fixed. You know what I mean? That's why you got a lot of depressed social workers and things like that, because they go in there with good intentions, like, yeah, we'll be youth workers, we'll work with the youth and this and that. And then they realize that the way that the system's built, they can't. You know what I mean? It's just completely corrupt. It's completely. And then you look at it in the terms of the reset. They invented pretty much every institution. After the last reset, education, science, geology, medical, military, police, it's all been introduced by them, by the controllers. So it's all corrupt and it all has to go. That's the only way around this. The only way to build our own world here is to completely destroy every trace of basically everything that they've ever set up in this country. And at the moment here in New Zealand, we would have to revoke every single legislation they've put in since the 1900s, absolutely destroy medical, destroy education, all of their Freemason stuff will all be destroyed. And that's the only way to get rid of this virus once and for all. But anywho, we'll go on to David Bain now. So David Bain, I'll share screen. So we'll finish off with this, fam. So this is some pretty ugly shit, man. It's hard to read this stuff. All right, so the Bain family murders. So this was a huge thing that happened here in New Zealand. The Bain family murders were the deaths by gunshot of Robin and Margaret and 3 of their 4 children, Aroa, Lanier, and Stephen in Dunedin in 1994. The only suspects were David Bain, the eldest son and only survivor. David Bain, aged 22, was charged with 5 counts of murder. He was convicted, given a life sentence in prison. But then the retrial in June 2009 ended with his acquittal on all charges. So he didn't actually kill them. Now, the corruption involved in this is absolutely insane. Hold up, man. So the corruption involved in this is absolutely insane. It's pretty sad. So what they don't tell you in any of this is that, well, first of all, the father was a Freemason. So this Robin Bain was a Freemason, allegedly was having sex with his daughters. Margaret Bain, the mother, was allegedly having sex with the sons. They lived in Papua New Guinea before New Zealand, where it was common practice, where incest and rape and pedophilia was common practice. None of this is mentioned in the Wikipedia version, mind you. But so let's just go on. So, all right. So this is a clip here. So this is the news journal here. So let me just go to the page. Okay. So 24. So this is some pretty sick shit here, fam. But it's basically, I'll link it up. I'll link it up for you guys to have a read. But damn it. It's basically talking about corruption inside the oh, here we go. Here we go. All right, so I'll try and go through it for us. Is this the right page? No, this ain't the right page. Hold on. Okay. The devastating truth about police corruption in New Zealand. Okay. Explosive new allegations of widespread police sexual misconduct reaching as high as current police commissioner Howard Broad have emerged. Police commissioner, fam. And if you think that it's just one of them that's like that, if you think it's just one of them that's like that, you're tripping, bub, because it's all of them. All right, when Investigative Magazine broke the story last month of a young court worker allegedly raped by an off-duty police officer. I'm not going to go over all of it because it's pretty bad stuff, but Investigate brings you a devastating expose that's taken 2 years to pull together, an expose linking Dunedin police officers to extortion, bribery, rape, indecent assault, underage sex, drug dealing, bestiality, and conspiracy to pervert the course of justice. Some of the Dunedin police officers involved in some of these activities have since graduated to senior positions elsewhere around the country, including Police Commissioner Howard Broad and some of his district commanders. Rape, pedophilia, underage sex, and the people that were caught up in the scandal are now high-ranking in the police and even government. You know what I mean? It's just... Now, there's no mention of the occult stuff in here, but it's all occult. It's all this Freemason crap. It's all this secret society crap. Look, Howard Broad, the police commissioner himself, according to former colleagues, was part of the police culture when he worked in Dunedin. One colleague approached by Investigate alleges Broad screened bestiality videos at his going away party from Dunedin CIB in the mid-1980s. There was one particular video being showed of a naked woman holding a chicken while a man had sex with it. The chicken basically expired, and then the woman immediately performed the sexual act on the man. Another colleague, former detective Tom Lewis, he was a bit of a groper. It didn't take much to get him drunk, and when he got pissed, he got a bit of Dutch courage. He was never charged with anything, of course. The woman had complained about him. I mean, this is some pretty sick shit here, you know what I mean? Like, the future police commissioners' actors reflect the police culture. Like, there were commissions and all of this stuff. If there is a Royal Commission of Inquiry, it will hear evidence of rookie female police officers being forced to have sex, perform sexual acts on senior officers as a rite of passage. You know, there were a couple of civilian typists on our floor, and I remember at one party seeing both of them naked, legs spread, in 2 police interview rooms side by side, while a large group of male officers waited in line to gangbang these women. These are the people that enforce the law of this country, fam. The people that enforce the law. Allegations that senior Labour MPs Michael Cullen, now the Attorney General, and Minister in charge of SIFs, so that's the child, that's the people that are supposed to look after the children and wards of the state, and that David Benson Pope, a school teacher at the time, helped police cover up a major pedophilia, bondage, and bestiality ring in the city. This is in 1980s, but you think it's changed now? You think they changed any of that? It's all occult. It's all of the sick stuff that these Freemasons and all of these people are into. 14-year-olds involved, all covered up by the police, by teachers, by people in it's just some sick shit. There's obviously a lot to read over, but it's just, they would have these parties, occult parties, because you got to realize as well that the Freemasons in that practiced perverted sexual magic. An Aslation dog was a regular performer at the sex shows. They would have sex with the animals. So obviously this what do you call it, article has left out obviously the satanic nature and the occult nature of all of this. But you've got teachers involved who are covering this stuff up. There are people that were complaining about all of this. Audrey had named a high-ranking Labour cabinet minister as one of those attending the shows. Don't you understand? Urged Daziel. It's a victimless crime. In a nutshell, that summed up the attitude of Dunedin police. A sex ring where 14-year-old girls were offered huge sums of money to have sex with old men. They labelled it a victimless crime. Again, this is some pretty hard stuff to read over, fam. Because nothing's changed. It's all still going on, and it's all these people in government. A bit of pressure, so the Labour government were very keen to cover this up. So this is going on. This is the sort of people that were investigating into David Bains' trial. David Bain, who apparently killed his whole family, had a very low IQ as well. So it was very easy to pin his own family's murder on him. It was not as if Labour was unaware of the central allegations that the father of a police officer had procured underage schoolgirls for bondage. Why would Mike Cullen, now the Attorney General and Deputy Prime Minister, want to pour cold water on such a devastating allegation? Why would David Benson Pope, a school teacher, want to reassure teachers and parents that there was no truth to these allegations? Just a massive cover-up. Look, it is significant that while Prime Minister Helen Clark was fully prepared to set up a commission of inquiry, I'm sure she was, and then it became nothing, into historic police rape allegations from the Bay of Plenty, equally serious allegations with a political overtone have been strangely ignored, even though two politicians involved in damage control at the time are now senior figures in Helen Clark's cabinet. So they make off like, oh, we got to look into this and that, but they're all part of it, all of them. David Benson Pope has become an MP himself. The people that were covering up all of this, you know what I mean? Like, again, it's some pretty sick shit. You know, there's talk of, you know, brothels and police were being regular attendants, always sleeping with underage women. Look, the Bain family had lived in Papua New Guinea for years, in a region where incest and group sex were cultural traditions. One book on the Bain murders alleges that the family fell victim to sexual misconduct there and that the practice took hold. So that they were actually Freemasons, though. So this is normal in their stuff. Again, this article obviously doesn't go into the occult stuff and what this stuff is really about, which is, you know, it's all rituals. It's all their rituals. It's all, they look at incest in that and having sex with their own children as a form of, I don't know, worship to whoever they're worshiping. You know, it's all part of it. The night she told me about what her father had done to her, she also told me that this is something that happened to her in Papua New Guinea. So this is David Bain's sister. So David Bain's sister was being sexually assaulted by his own father. It is well documented that Laniet's mother, Margaret Bain, was becoming increasingly deranged and obsessed with New Age rituals. It had also been alleged that Margaret Bain had a sexual relationship with her sons. It is no exaggeration to say that the Bain family was seriously dysfunctional. So they're saying that these were what the murders were about. That this Laniet, look, I'll let you guys read over this yourselves, because it's just some pretty nasty shit, mate. You know what I mean? It's tough to read, mate. Tough to read. But yeah, police commissioner lies to public about bestiality video screened in his house. Allegations by his former colleagues. These people are in government. These people are in hold on. Yeah, I won't keep reading that stuff because it's just some pretty perverted shit. This is the hopefully you can see that. I'll leave it in the description as well to that investigative article. But yeah, that's basically what happened with that David Bain murder. So not only was the police force completely corrupt, David Bain's parents were both Freemasons, both into occult ritual magic. And it's just it's messed up. But the thing with, so who knows really what happened. So Bain's sister, that Laniet, the one that was complaining about her father having sex with her and all of that, she apparently wasn't living at home at that time, but she was a prostitute. So she was apparently involved in all the bestiality stuff, and she was going to unearth it. She was going to start speaking on it. She had videos of it, and that was why the whole family was killed. But the Freemasonry stuff, the occult stuff, is what links all of this. You know what I mean? Even this, with the boys' homes, you know what I mean? Here in New Zealand, in Australia as well, when they were sexually assaulting all the children and all of that, most of these people were in secret societies, in these Freemasonry groups. That's why they were put in those positions of looking after these children. And they went on to, these people go on to become prime ministers. You know what I mean? The people that get into the stuff, they become prime ministers. They become police commissioners. They become because it's sex magic. Yeah. So they get taught perverted and sick ritualistic magic involving having sex with their own children. Involving, it's just it's crazy stuff, isn't it? But yeah, I'll link that. I'll link that in the description, so you guys can have a look through that. Yeah, rituals and energy harvesting. That's what it is. Because they suck energy. These people, they're vampires. Because the thing is, to even join the Freemasons or any sort of group like that, you have to sell your soul. You know what I mean? They put you through rituals in which, in the end, you sell your soul, and that you dedicate your life to these demonic entities. Now, not all of them are aware of this, though. Most are, but not all. You know what I mean? There are some that enter into politics that weren't Freemasons to begin with, but then they become Freemasons because you have to be. So it's pushed onto you, and from there, and then from there, they go through these rituals. They think it's cool and just some old thing that they do, but it ain't. It ain't. Yeah, brain splat stuff, alright, isn't it? Fucking cooks your noodle the stuff, man, you know? Knowing that these people in positions of power, well, because the thing is, these people, all of those police officers in Dunedin and all of that, they were all caught up in bestiality and pedophilia and that were victims themselves because their parents would have abused them. That's the thing. When you look at these people in positions of power, so what we're doing here in New Zealand is we're actually, so we're basically looking to, yeah, pretty much dissolve Parliament, dissolve every legislation that they've put in place, the banking system, everything. It all has to go, all of it. We're not looking to negotiate or anything like that. We want it all gone. We want to destroy every single thing that they've built, and get normal people in the as these electorates, because you got to realize that these people that are prime ministers right now, these people in positions of power right now, they're not like us. They've grown up in occult houses where their own parents have abused them in the most awful of ways. That's why they can do what they can do. That's why the prime minister and all of that, they can do this stuff without batting an eyelid, because they had all the humanity abused out of them when they were children. You know what I mean? They get locked in dark rooms, abused. You know, all of these occult parents, they swap their children with each other and do stuff to each other's children, and it's just it's insane. You know, yeah, bankers, actors, all of them. Freemasonry and then all of that is the common denominator in all of this. Secret societies are the common denominator in absolutely everything. All of those rappers and stuff, they were Freemasons as well. Shaquille O'Neal, he's a Freemason. Manny Pacquiao, he's a Freemason. Google it. You can see them in Freemason uniform. All of them. You know what I mean? Yeah, all of them are a part of are a part of these societies. You don't hit the world stage unless you're a full-blown wizard or witch, pretty much, because that's what they are. They're wizards and witches, warlocks, whatever you want to call them, demons. You do not reach the public stage without being connected to them. It just doesn't happen. They would not allow it. They wouldn't allow just some random dude to reach that top spot. They have to be completely controlled. They have to be born and groomed for that purpose. But the only way to get rid of these people is, or here in Auckland, we stand at the Governor General's every single day. We stand at the Governor General's every day, 119 Epsom, Auckland. We've been doing that every day for the last 3 months. So we've been protesting for the last 3 months. We don't call it a protest, but that's what we've been doing for every single day for the last 3 months, because we know where this is heading. You know what I mean? There ain't no ways around this, and there ain't no thing. There's no way around this. The end is near. Yeah, there's Freemason built lodges in every suburb of Auckland, of the world. They're everywhere. You know what I mean? Because they control everything. Yeah, how's that, eh? Jacinda laughing about suicide. Yeah, Prime Minister, I thought it was funny. These people are twisted as fuck. Most twisted people you will ever come across, man. Manipulators, yeah. Yeah, casting spells on the world. Yeah, you don't get anywhere in the system unless your soul is sold. Yeah, no ways around that. Absolutely no ways around that. There's no such thing as making it big in here. But then, like the Bible says, you know what I mean? What does it profit a man to inherit the world but sell his soul? Fuck. You know what I mean? What benefit is that? Hitting the world stage, but you've sold your soul. These people don't live nice lives. You know what I mean? Again, they abuse people and are able to do all of that because they've gone through it themselves. You know what I mean? They've gone through awful stuff. Yeah, the funny handshake club. That's how you can spot a lot of them. The gestures, you know, the hand here, the hand in the coat, the handshakes. It's all symbolism. Even the numbers they use, you know what I mean? When you look at the statistics in that they put out on the newspaper, those are all just made up numbers, but there's something in those numbers though, eh? It's so hard to know because the thing is, all of the magic that they use in that, it's all been hidden from us. You know what I mean? Which is fucked up, you know? They've completely hidden it from us, but there's something in the numbers, there's something, everything they do is symbolism. And it's hidden from us, you know? We'll get it back though, but we'll get the good stuff back, you know? And we'll burn everything else, mate. You know what I mean? That's what that's our train of thought here in Auckland. You know what I mean? Once we take down this parliament and rebuild all of this, mate, all that Freemasonry stuff, that satanic stuff will all be outlawed. Mate, we'll be getting gallows, man. And if you're found guilty by a group of your peers of treason against humanity, you're going to be hung in those gallows. You know what I mean? Every Freemason building across New Zealand, we're going to tear them all down. All their books, we're going to burn all of them. All the library books, we'll burn all of those because there's nothing in the library. There's nothing in the library that is of substance. You know what I mean? All their history stuff's all lies. That's why they call it a library, because it's all lies. Burn all their books, because they've already burnt all the good books. All the books that mean anything, they've either burnt them or they're hiding them in underground archives, like under the museum here in Auckland. Under the museum in Auckland here, they've got archives that isn't accessible to the public. Underneath the Vatican, maybe. I don't know. I've heard though, but are definitely here in Auckland Museum. But underground archives all over the place still have the books that they're hiding that actually mean anything. You know. Yeah, Jacinda's man. So, because then that's the thing as well, you know what I mean? So not only are these children abused by their parents, but then they twist their gender. You know what I mean? That's how sick these people are. You know what I mean? Look at Adele's children. Look at all these famous people. Charlize Theron, you know, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. Look at them raising their kids as raising boys as girls and boys. What's wrong with these people, man? They're sick. You know what I mean? Absolutely sick. Yeah, in plain sight. Yeah, well, fuck. Imagine. So Jacinda's dad was a fucking. Oh, I don't even like swearing, you know, but these fucking people, you know, they fucking do my head in. I swear, these Freemasons, they fucking do my nuttin', mate. I fucking hate them. I hate the Antichrist. I hate anything to do with the devil. And, you know, in the Bible it says to fear God is to hate what is evil. And I just hate them. You know what I mean? I hate these demonic entities. Jacinda's dad was the police commissioner in Niue. Could you imagine the sick shit that he would have fucking done over there, mate? The sick shit that he would have done over there. Look at what's happening here in the police force here in New Zealand. Bestiality, underage sex, victimless crime. It's a victimless crime. Pedophilia, victimless crime. Teachers involved in covering this all up. Teachers that would go on to be MPs. Teachers that would go on to be working with groups that are meant to be protecting children from pedophiles. You know what I mean? That's what happens to these kids. You know, they get taken off their parents and they're thinking that they're going to be safe in that, and they get put in the hands of a pedophile. Could you imagine that for a kid? A kid that's gone through something awful as being taken away from their parents for their safety, and then getting put in the house with a pedophile? Fuck, doesn't that just break your fucking heart, mate? There's no protection in this world for children. You got all these people struggling, you know, with my other channel, you know what I mean? I got another channel where I interview people, you know, and I interview gang members, people who have been to prison, myself included. You know what I mean? I've been caught up in the mix. I've lived the street life, the gang life. I've done all of that. You know how many people reach out to me saying they're struggling and this and that, and it's like, I don't know what to say to them. You know what I mean? Because there's no place that they can go. There's no place that they can go in this world. You can't go to a bloody a GP and ask for medical stuff because they don't have nothing for you. I've seen mates do it. Go to GPs telling them that they're doing it hard, that they're struggling this and that. They can't do nothing for them. There's nowhere you can go now. If you're struggling with suicide, if you're struggling that, where are you going to go? You think that they'll be able to go to a church, you know what I mean, and be looked after in there, in a house of the light, you know what I mean? Well, they're supposed to be. You know what I mean? You think that people will be able to go there and be comforted and things like that, but there's nowhere you can go in this world now. We're living in a modern day Sodom and Gomorrah, honestly. It's like shit. You know what I mean? When I go through the city in Auckland, every ad's been sexualized. I'm looking at an ad about mobiles and it's got like sexual undertones in it. Cartoons got sexual undertones in it. Movies. Homeless people everywhere. Sex workers everywhere. Suicide is everywhere in this country. I'm telling you, in the Bible with Sodom and Gomorrah, and that it wouldn't be far off what we're seeing now. I'm telling you that right now, Yeah, nah, cheers, brother. It's all good. It's all good. The best thing I could suggest to people though is to start networking. Start networking. Start getting people together. Like I said, here in Auckland, we've been protesting every single day. 119 Mountain Road, Epsom, at the House of the Governor Generals. The reason why we stand there is because it's her duty to dissolve Parliament and issue the writs for a fresh election. So if we want to play it by their game, we need to surround her, the Governor General, and tell her to issue those writs and tell her to dissolve Parliament now. And again, we will revoke every single legislation that they've ever put in place. All of it. All their banking shit, all of their fucking education shit, we dissolve all of it because we don't want any of it. It's not just one politician. It's not just two politicians. It's not just three politicians. It's the whole fucking lot of them. They are a fucking cesspit and they all gotta fucking go. Every fucking judge in this country, gone. Fucking, we don't want their fucking courts where there's no justice. There ain't no justice in court, mate. We live in a world where good people go to prison and pedophiles, rapists, and murderers become MPs and become prime ministers. That's the world that we live in, fam. How fucking twisted is that? You know how many good people I know that are in prison that just made a fucked up mistake? And then do you know how many fucking people that are MPs and that who have been involved in child trafficking and pedophilia, all of this shit, and they'll never see the inside of a cell. They will never, ever, ever come close to spending a night in a cell. Nowhere fucking near. So we need all the fucking judges gone, all of the politicians, all the judges, all the fucking medical experts gone. All of them. Every fucking single one. They all need to be gone. And again, we'll hold public trials as well. After that, once we take this country back, they'll be held accountable for the crimes against humanity that they've done. I'm telling you, there'll be gallows waiting for them if they're found guilty of a jury of their peers. Don't get me wrong, they'll get a fair trial, more fair than any trial that goes on in the country at this moment. You know what I mean? No judge, no nothing, just a jury of your peers, which is how it should be. You know what I mean? Like, not some fucking judge that can take a bribe and this and that. And, there was that child sex ring up north, people were getting caught up in trafficking, teenage girls and that. Not one of them went to jail. Why? Because the judge is a fucking pedophile himself. That's why. You know what I mean? Pedophiles look after pedophiles. Don't worry about that. Yeah, it's just crazy. Yeah, Brethren Church. Yeah. I heard a mention of that. The Brethren Church. Fuck, where did I hear that from again? Yeah, words, numbers, and symbols. It's everything has a purpose in their stuff. Just don't know what it is. Just don't know what it is. Well, yeah. Everyone that's sick right now is ones that have had that. All the people that are sick. How sick is that? It's completely twisted. The world's lost though. But you got to look at it as well as that in the Bible it says again, you know what I mean? Like you can say what you want about the Bible and how the Freemasons changed it around and that, but there's still truth there. There's still a lot of truth in the Bible, and it says that all of these things have to happen. All of this death, all of these children dying, unfortunate though it is, it it has to happen. You know what I mean? Because some people just can't wake up soon enough, you know? Um, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it'll happen, man. I'm pretty confident in that. Um, but again, there ain't no going bush. There ain't no going hiding in the bush and all of that. Head on. Only way. Only way to do it. Um, yeah. Everything published after 1945. Yeah. Well, they even changed history anyway. Wasn't it around there in this country in New Zealand? They completely changed the history books. Completely changed it. Um, yeah, they're all trannies. All trannies. Um, yeah, much love, Rob. Much love. Um, makes your blood boil, doesn't it? These sick fuckers. Um, yeah, all religions. Religions. You know what I mean? Religions. All religion is created by them. All of them. All of them are created by the Freemasons or Jesuits or whatever you want to call them, but all invented by them. Completely corrupted everything. That's why I don't follow religion. Don't get me wrong, I do consider myself a man of Yahweh or God. You know, I don't call him God because even that is one of their words. You know what I mean? Or even Jesus is one of their words that they use to twist everything around. But yeah, I am a man of Yahweh, but I don't follow religion at all. Well, I actually do go to church. I do go to church, but only because there are a lot of good people in there, confused though they are, and blinded though they are. A lot of them are still good people. You know what I mean? And I just like going to church. I like singing. I like being a part of all of that. It's a good feeling. And you know, like look at Tartaria, you know, with all of their organs and stuff. You know what I mean? Like they were probably all in choirs and probably singing, but nice stuff. Singing nice stuff. So yeah, Disney, man, all damn Freemason crap. And yeah, there's heaps of homeless in Rewa, huh? Yeah. Well, I'll be going out this. Oh, yeah, there's heaps of homeless people everywhere in there. Everywhere, fucking homeless people everywhere. Yeah, well, yeah, if you want to come down again, we stand at 119 Mountain Road, Epsom. 119 Mountain Road, Epsom. We stand there from 11 to 1 every single day. Look, I don't know how this is going to turn out. You know what I mean? But at this point, there needs to be people standing in this country every day. You know what I mean? There has to be. There has to be people that are standing together against all of this. Don't get me wrong, the numbers fluctuate. You know what I mean? Sometimes there's not many of us down there. But there needs to be people standing every day in the face of this tyranny. There needs to be. No weekend shit, you know what I mean? No once in a while protest. Every day. Every single day. And it does things, you know what I mean? It does. Remember that this is a spiritual fight. You know what I mean? This is a spiritual fight. Yeah, it was the disgrace, wasn't it? To be honest, I haven't even seen it, but I just heard about it today. The high suicide rate, yeah, because they love it. They love this shit. Yeah, well, the Governor General is one of them. You know what I mean? But what are you gonna do? Sit at home? You know what I mean? It's just that's the only place of significance at this point. You know what I mean? There's, like I said, there needs to be people standing every day, every single day, and the Governor General is their highest office in this country. So that's where we'll stand. But don't get me wrong, she's one of them. Don't get that twisted. But we'll surround them. You know what I mean? Like, all it takes is 3% of this population. 100 people, 100,000 people stand in this country. This will all be over, and we won't need to use violence because there's only a few of them. You know what I mean? There's only a few of them. But yeah, but whatever you're gonna do, don't just sit at home. You know what I mean? You see everything that's going on, but just don't. We can't be sitting at home. You know what I mean? We just can't. Yeah, it's fair, isn't it? Well, we're wrapping up to the end here. Pike River mine disaster, 33, happened exactly 33 weeks after Albert Pike's death. Anthony was found 3 months, 3 days before Christchurch earthquake. Crazy stuff, isn't it? And that's if that Pike mine disaster even happened. You know what I mean? It's just everything is a lie. Yeah, religion is a man-made system, completely man-made. But yeah, so anywho, this is the Fallon Show. Hope you enjoyed that episode. I'll be coming live a lot more now. Well, when I can anyway. Might be heading to Wellington next week. Might be. But you know, keep your eyes on the dial, fam. You know, with anyone with eyes to see, they can see that this holographic system that they've set up, this holographic, what is it? Words escape me. This hologram, you know what I mean? That they've set up in this place is slowly crumbling, like it has in previous resets. You know what I mean? There's this has all happened before, and they're masters of you know, of it by now. You know, because this has all happened before. Society slowly starts waking up to the fact that we're living in a prison world where our energy is being used, where they take the children off us, where children disappear. And once people start realizing it, because you've got to realize we have a collective consciousness as well. So once a small group of people start waking up to it, it expands across. You know what I mean? And then once everybody starts waking up to the shit, they reset it. That's what this 5G crap is, I think. Everybody's gonna die, except the children, except the 0 to 5-year-olds. They'll get taught a false history, and it'll just happen again, unless we stop it now, fam. Unless we stop it now. So, I mean, keep the prayers high, fam. You know what I mean? Keep the world in prayer. Keep the meditation up. Don't doubt the word of prayer. You know, I'm telling you, don't doubt it. You know, it's not something that was invented by them. You know, it's not something that was invented by religion. Prayer is a massive form of the awakening. It's a massive form of protection. And don't get me wrong, they've corrupted it. But pray to the light. You know what I mean? Don't pray to Jesus or God or whatever. Pray to the light. Pray to the Creator. You know, and you know, I'll finish us off in a quick word of prayer. So if you can, bow your heads in reverence of the Creator. But just, dear Heavenly Father, dear Creator, dear life source, the Aether. You go by many names, but there's no names that we could speak that describe who or what you are. But I just ask you to cover us and light all of the viewers right now, all the people who are watching right now. Give them the strength, give them the courage to stand, to be bold.
Please watch over our loved ones. Please watch over our neighbors. We just push out all our energy to flood this country, New Zealand, the world, all of the people who are fighting right now, all of the people who are suffering right now, who are scared, who are worried, who are uncertain. I just ask that you send an angel over each and every house, over each person. Send the comforter, send the spirit amongst them so that they can see. Give them the vision. Give this world the vision of a brighter future for the children, because that's who we fight for. We fight for the future of our children, where they won't have to grow up in a prison world, where they can grow up in a place where they won't have to work as slaves. They won't have to pay rent. They won't have to pay for energy. They can go and they can create and they can live a good life. And that is something I'm sure that all of us will die for, is for a future for the children, where they don't have to grow up in this. So please, Father, give people the strength, give them the courage, be with the people that we love, be with the people that we hate even, be with the people that are against us. Just bless the world, Father, and help us to approach every situation with love, and help us to vanquish these demons and send them back to wherever they came from, because they can do nothing in this realm without your permission, without our permission. So, Father, I just thank you. Please watch over everyone here. Please give us a good night's rest. And just thank you for being here. Thank you for always listening. And thank you for loving us. Thank you. All right, fam. Oh, well, what time is it? Almost 10 o'clock. Nice. All right, so that's it here, fam. I'm gonna leave that link. I'm gonna leave a link in the description to the David Bain article, well, the police corruption in Dunedin article. Share that around, fam. Pretty sick stuff. Again, you know what I mean? It's some pretty sick stuff. Police being involved in all sorts of bestiality and ugly stuff, who would go on to be MPs, be involved in the government, be involved in child protection services. These are the sort of people. That's the network. That's the network of filth. And also, yeah, keep the prayers up. Keep the vibes high. And again, there's nothing to be scared of, nothing to be worried about. What else? Yeah, Invercargill. Interesting stuff in Invercargill. Obviously, we didn't build none of that by a few scattered European settlers. Also, Anzac. You know, we had a look at the war. What's going on there? 2,000 people dead in the first day. Didn't come across one dead body in that cove. No cemetery, no buried spots for any of them. It's all lies. This world is a lie, and everything in it. And we're just going to unearth that, and we'll find the truth. But yeah, much love, much light. I'm going to bounce on out of here. I'm going to relax. My back's getting a little bit sore. But yeah, and I'll probably do a live. Maybe I'll do a live on Sunday. So I'll be back. Oh, no, I can't do it on Sunday. Well, Sunday afternoon I can actually. Or Saturday night, actually. I'll do one on Saturday night. So I'll catch y'all on Saturday night. Let me know in the comments what you want me to talk about. If there's any sort of towns or cities here in New Zealand that you want me to check out that I haven't already, leave it in the comments and I'll get some pictures together and we can go through it. But anyway, much love, much light. Keep the vibes high, keep the peace high, and approach every situation with love, fam.